Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is October 11th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, I'm ready to go for the weekend. I've got a college football playoff contender Illini and my my NFL football playoff contender Bears in motion. I'm just so happy for PJ
With
the Mets,
the Jets firing. What are you more happy about, the Jets firing the coach or the Mets?
I'm
more happy about the Mets.
Pretty
I'm more
good.
happy about the Mets.
You know what I miss?
I'm gonna ride this out.
You know what I miss? I've watched Francisco Lindor hit a grand slam in the postseason for my team.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Has not scored a run in 2 games. It's tough, but I'm very happy for you, PJ.
Andres Jimenez's Gold Gloves can't get pushed across home plate.
Oh, come on. This is such
I like Andres Jimenez.
We won that trade or not trade. I mean, come on. We can't sign everybody to $1 billion a year like these New York markets. Jimenez, Ahmed Rosario gave us a cup of coffee. Get out of here. This is really niche stuff.
How's Josh Wolf still toiling away in the minor leagues somewhere?
I didn't know there was this discourse was going to be had.
No, I mean Lindor hitting a grand slam, which he did on the Yankees, one of the all-time recent moments in postseason history.
Matt Vasgersian's masterpiece.
That might be his greatest, one of the great baseball calls.
All I remember is the Cubbies putting Lindor into a body bag.
All right.
That's all I remember.
We're down 2-1 to the Tigers. If this was the FedEx Cup playoffs, we beat the Tigers. You know what's going to kill me? There's going to be a Tiger Royals ALCS where we both beat by 7 games. And they're going to be puttering around to go to the World Series while we're at home because we got cold for like an hour in October for a 3-game stretch. And it should be, we start every game up 3-0, like Scotty Scheffler, reflective of the season he had, like Andy wishes. That's probably what the playoff system should be. I'm kidding. I'm not salty at all. We'll see. Still 2 games.
Sounds salty.
Not at all.
Don't put in the news in the newsletter. I'm salty.
I'm salty. PJ, are you happy? Are you just obviously you're happy. Are you incredulous? Did you believe this was going to happen?
No, I did not believe this was going to happen. I mean, much like you just said, beating the Phillies added a whole nother level to it that I think I was not prepared for. I mean, the first time literally ever they meet in the playoffs. So they can win 20 more regular season games. As far as I'm concerned, it's 1-0 Mets for the foreseeable future on this.
Was that really the first time they've ever played in the playoffs?
First time they've ever played in the playoffs. So that was big and appreciated. No, I did not think this was ever happening in any way, shape, or form. But I'm glad Grimace got to be there on Tuesday, and I expect Grimace will be there on Wednesday.
It's a freak show. Whatever's going on over there, it's just a freak show. I'm amused by it. I'm happy for everyone involved. Honestly.
I gotta say, PJ had tickets to the game. Asked for the release from work. Was said, oh God, you do not need to sit in and produce a podcast with me and Garrett. You are more than welcome to go. And then next thing I know, he's on the podcast with me and Garrett. He gave away his ticket to the game yesterday.
Could have been there.
Could have been there. Could have saw the clinch, but nope, didn't do it.
And he said, I needed to work. And I said, I told you didn't need to work.
Well, as consolation to missing this all-time Mets moments, we do have concepts of a plan going on.
We do have concepts of a plan.
Maybe you didn't get to go to this Mets clincher, but you may, in fact, be going to Phoenix for the Chuck Schwab Championship season-ending Champions Tour event.
I texted my dad last night that I can't believe this is a real sentence. Any part of this sentence is true and real and things I have to consider. That the Charles Schwab Cup would not interfere with any potential Mets World Series parade.
All right. Well,
so I've got that going for me, which is nice.
I didn't think you were going to say that 6 months ago. All right.
Yeah.
Well, credentials have been put in for. We're discussing lodging, flights.
Have we gotten approved yet? We got to make sure.
No, we've not. It's sitting in the. It's sitting in the application queue.
They have dozens to go through, I'm sure.
The global home is kind of trying to decide whether this is a good idea or not.
Well, we got a month to go. It'd be great. We're sending you to Arizona 3 days after the election. It'd be great. A good
What could
place
go
to
wrong?
be. Shop, probably. There's a lot of theories going on out there. You'll be in Chuck Schwab land, where people, I'm sure, will be taking it well, whatever happens.
We'll have to tell the media center to stock Coke and iced tea.
Yeah.
Make an external request to the credential request.
We could.
PJ's coming. Need to make sure you got enough iced tea.
The seniors what are they drinking? Like RC Cola or something? You can tell them we need PJ.
It's going to be all diet. It's going to be all diet.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. Can't help you.
We got a youth coming in. Hey, speaking of the seniors, go ahead.
PJ, quick question. If assuming this happens, this comes to fruition, what player are you just like most excited to see live? Like, is there someone that you've been just chomping at the bit to see their game in person?
Dick Green. Are you kidding me? Imagine he wins. Imagine he doesn't win until he wins the Schwab Cup. And it's just me and Peter Jacobson in like a champagne shower on the 18th grade.
This, I don't want to I think we're pretty self-deprecating here, but some of the nonsense we just start talking about off the cuff here oddly has come mysteriously to fruition. Like Roy Sabatini actually meddling, things of that nature. There's been several others that just all of a sudden Brendan Todd finding his game, like just weird odds and ends becoming so it could be in reality you and Peter Jacobson celebrating Dick Green there in a month.
Hey, regular season conclusion, SAS Championship this weekend. What are we watching for while we're here?
Well, I felt bad that I missed Jayon Fest the other night, so I did go back. I did some research.
That's not Champions Tour. That's not your beat.
I have Jadon's SAS Championship history.
He could be playing there.
He's played in it. He's played in it 6 times.
Shoulders frozen. Can't play.
From 2010 to 2016, skip 2014. Don't know what happened there. But T59 2016, 2015 T62, 2013 T62, 2012 solo second, runner up to Bernie, 2011 T6, and his debut 2010 SAS Championship T29. Russ Cochran was the winner of that event.
Wow. 2 standout PGA Tour players this year battling 15 years ago.
Hey, did you guys see that Jay Don's cousin was in the YouTube, or nephew was in the YouTube comments?
A lot of Jay Don feedback, apparently from blood relatives also. I thought we were fairly complimentary of the whole ordeal, the whole scheme they're running out there in St. George, Utah. I'm all good with it. Now, I said nothing matters, nobody cares, which is fair. I said I was fine with it. Bad sip time.
There's just can't be any sipping during Jadon's.
Why are you banging on Jadon for history for making his 500 start? You don't say crap about Mike Weir. You did say plenty of crap about Mike Weir.
Well, this is the cousins or the nephews.
You're reading, okay. Yes, he
skirted under the radar. That's bullshit. That Weir exemption. All right, go ahead.
This is his 500 start, not some ceremonial tee shot as you might have called for. You have to actually play to get the start. Why don't you guys complain about all those old timers who still play in majors? This guy's not familiar with what we do here, clearly.
No.
But he's calling for, his hometown hero making this welcome. Not too happy about. Exactly. Well, we had somebody get in the YouTube comments as a reply defending you by saying that Brendan admits that this is a fine personal perspective and he's in on Jadon getting a spot. So I found it funny that there's no popping of any old guys that continue to David Duval playing the Open every year. No, nothing. Nothing.
Never
that.
Talk about that.
No.
There. You see, he's got a bullseye putter.
Yeah, I did.
I love
That doesn't seem like a competitive move.
I mean,
I think you're at a competitive disadvantage if you're using that putter.
I don't know. It seems like you're in the pocket of big equipment, Andy. I know you. You're in the big pocket of always the latest and greatest, making a difference.
I think that you're at a competitive disadvantage if you're 65. I think you're at a competitive disadvantage if you have a frozen shoulder. And I think you're at a competitive disadvantage if you're using a bullseye putter.
I have to tell my dad that. He uses a bullseye. He's one of the most competitive SOBs ever.
He's leaving shots. The sweet spot on one of those is tiny. You're going to miss it.
I think he loves jamming it in his opponent's face with the bullseye. Can't even, I think it must be what Jaydon's got going.
The only reason to use a bullseye is if you like to masquerade between a right-handed and left-handed. If you view yourself as a switch putter, then that's a good reason to use the bullseye putter.
Yep. So
that's the only reason I could get behind it.
A lot of JDB feedback. Jayon Blake. He's apparently has a 0.3% chance to make the cut per data golf. We're trying to get under the analytics. Like, what are the crosstabs where you get 0.3? Where do you get 97 or 99.7?
Do you see his betting odds?
No. What are the
plus 300,000?
If you want him outright,
300 or 3,000.
It's 300,000 on the plus. He's 3,000 to 1.
Okay. Oh my God.
Just $1 measly dollar.
Is that to win?
That's to win outright.
I mean, I would.
You want to do it?
That doesn't jive with 0.3% chance to make the cut, not win.
Well, they got to entice people to.
Sure,
to
they
make
need
the
money.
bet.
They need the local money coming in.
I'm gonna see if I can get a the cut number.
Listen, I think this nephew that's in the YouTube comments should, if you're gonna come in here and be a bull of the China shop at our YouTube comments, you should be putting $100 minimum down on JDB winning.
I mean, the cousin seemed to have a good sense about it. He's like, this is all. It's just to get him 500.
I don't understand. It's just a number. What's the difference? We have this significance around hundreds. It's like, I don't think anything differently of Jayon Blake if he has 499 starts or 500. Do you? Do you think differently about his career?
No. It's just the miraculous circumstance of a PGA Tour event coming to his backyard that he never ever thought would happen in his life.
Again,
putting on 499. Make it happen.
Ceremonial starter, ceremonial tee shot. Let him announce all the players. Let him be the tournament host for the first year. Give him tournament host status, which is reserved for Byron Nelson, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger. Arnold Palmer, Tiger. Let it be hosted by Jayon Blake. Do not disrespect the competitive nature.
What do you mean Mike Weir's in there? Two guys who didn't have to do the pre-qualifier. The whole thing's a sham. Essentially,
I have problems with all of these things. This is just underpins the entire problem with the PGA Tour.
If you're interested in live odds, he's up to 5,000 to 1.
All right, live odds.
And if you want him in the top 20, what is he? He's 1,200 to 1 to top 20. So if anybody out there is interested,
let's tie this all together. What do you think his odds would be to win the SAS?
The guy has not played.
1,000 to 1.
The shoulder was frozen. He made the Barracuda cut in 2018, I think it was. The shoulder issues. He's just hanging out with his 25 grandkids. And now he's on the PGA Tour. He goes at 4:14 p.m. Eastern as of this recording.
Did we do listeners a disservice that we did not put this out after the play? Fair concern. There've been so much. Should we go live tomorrow morning with
Cut Watch?
Yeah.
Friday Cut Watch. A lot of JDB feedback. I love it. I mean, it made this event, moderately interesting the first couple of days. So it looks good. Read up on our website. A lot of good stuff on the Black Desert Championship. A lot of feedback on Jayon Blake. A lot of feedback on folding chairs. I'm not even going to get into that right now. Just a lot of support actually for my take for youth sports. Some negativity, but
I don't understand why somebody can't bring a chair. Like, why are they? You know what I thought about? I was thinking about this last night.
I want to get into this.
Last night, I went to my local farmer's market. We needed a meal on the go. You know what we did? What I got from the farmer's market? Rotisserie chicken.
That seems antithetical to farmer's market. Isn't like rotisserie chicken like very?
They have some food trucks.
Okay. All right.
And they have a rotisserie chicken. It's great chicken. It's like awesome. It's like, so I got my rotisserie chicken and I was cutting it up and I was thinking, a lot of people like to hang out at that farmer's market. If I had brought my family there instead of bringing it home, if I had brought them there and cut it up and had dinner at the farmer's market, there's some music.
Oh, okay.
Brendan would have frowned on me for bringing a folding chair.
Different deal. Come on. I'm talking about these guys unloading their truck or car, coming down with like $10,000 and 10,000 pounds of equipment for 45 minutes of soccer. Little 4-year-old girls soccer clinic. That's my problem. It's like it just is incongruous. This country used to stand. I'm all sack up and stand. I'm kidding.
You know, I honestly, as a parent of a toddler, now that we're way off topic,
seriously,
we started some sporting activities.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's like the greatest thing in the world. Getting a little weekend relief.
Sure.
Like, gladly volunteer to take the kid there. Just get a sit. Just
stand up to the side. Yeah.
Just like do whatever for an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half.
It's not bad. It's good. It's great. All right, let's get to Whip Around Friday here. Bumping around. We had a great submission. We're just going to unsubstantiated rumors, notes, messages here at the middle. It was supposed to be the top. We had Karun sent a note. Here's a Patton Kazire poem created by AI. I think Gemini AI. This is good stuff.
God,
Patton Kazire, Mr. October.
Did you see the AI thing from LKD where they basically ripped the article verbatim?
Yeah. Yes.
I think we need to just, as a society, just shun AI.
I mean, that's your deal. You're living up there in Northern California. You're on the front lines. Go fight back.
I don't live in Northern. I'm in Central.
All right,
Central California is the front lines.
Patton Kazire, Mr. October. The leaves turn brown, the air grows crisp. A chill descends, the summer's wisp. But on the course, a figure bold. General Patton, story told. When autumn winds begin to blow, Kazire's game puts on a show. He finds his form, a winning streak, while others falter, grow quite meek. With iron shots that pierce the air and putts that drop with utmost care, he marches on a golfing force, victorious on the fall season's course. All right, I might be back in on AI after that. I might be back
delightful.
In on AI. Patton Kazire fall poem. Love that.
Getting the general and getting then the marching into it is just really tied it together well.
Yes. Another whip around note. We talked about Sergio could get really intense in his games around Austin, maybe. Unsubstantiated. Another unsubstantiated Sergio. Friend played out at, blank course in Austin. He's playing with the member, plays regularly. Fellow member had his dad in town, so an old man playing with them. Dad sprays a drive that, depending on who you ask, got within 10 or 30 yards of Sergio. They yelled four. They all yelled four, and the people took cover. One of those was Sergio, who also took cover. When the old man came up, sheepishly apologizing, Sergio verbally berated him and undressed him and had to be calmed down by his playing partner, who was another tour pro. who plays out at this golf course. Bottom line, we need this guy at Bethpage. I mean, I unsubstantiated, but I mean, I'd believe it if you told me, and that's why I'm relaying it. So,
should we give a toasty tale? We've been donned a tremendous toasty tale.
Let's do that. Let's go there next.
It was submitted to golf advice email. It's not golf advice. We're gonna get to golf advice, but this is a toasty tale. This is we heard rumors of a caddy.
We had it confirmed. We had it locked in.
A caddy getting called up from the Pro-Am. Well,
yes,
we've got said caddy has written into golf advice and ready for our the tale of last week at the Sanderson with looping for toasty. First of all, 44 years old, 3 kids, and no interest in fighting. It's true. I played with him in the Pro-Am. He was fantastic with our group. Very gracious, exchanged numbers, and texted him after his round on Thursday. Told him he played well. His local caddy was struggling bad on Thursday. I don't know if he was sick or hurt, so I told him if he needed someone to fill in, let me know. Haha. Half joking, obviously. Well, he took me up on it. The text came to me on Friday around 9:30 to ask me to caddy for the rest of the tournament. He must have had an afternoon time.
Yeah.
I immediately said yes, and my toasty tale began. I met him at the course to get the caddy credentials about an hour and a half before the tee time. I then met him on the putting green after his stretching and warm-up routine where he laid out the rules for being his caddy and how particular he was about things. After a 30-minute putting and range session, we headed to the tee. He informed me up front he doesn't like talking throughout the round, so there wouldn't be much conversation, which was totally understandable.
Yeah.
He did open up throughout the round. The first toasty moment occurred about 4 holes in when he had a 30-yard flop shot out of the rough and proceeds to ask his playing partner, who already marked his ball, to please move your marker over one.
What, a 30-yard flop shot? Love that.
But the true toasty moment came walking between 17 green and 18 tee. He was frustrated because he just bogeyed 17 and went to kick the ground where there was some extension cords, and his soft spike stuck in the ground, and he ends up doing a barrel roll and immediately grabs his knee and starts rolling around on the ground.
What?
So he went to kick some extension cords,
in anger.
and his soft spike caught in the ground and caused a knee injury.
He's rolling around.
So he's rolling around on the ground like a soccer player with an injury. There are about 4 or 5 fans around. Not a huge fan draw, apparently, in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And I don't think it registered with anyone what just happened. I thought he got seriously hurt. After about 5 minutes on the ground, and in true toasty fashion, he limps to the tee and proceeds to pipe it 340 down the middle. Throughout the day,
that's
Toasty,
incredible. He's rolling around on the ground right into a 340 down the middle drop. All right.
Throughout the day, Toasty graced the crowds with some great shots. Spanish and English explicitives and some slamming of clubs. It was an incredible day that I won't forget. I honestly think he just wants to play well so bad that he can't keep it in and wears those emotions on his sleeve. I witnessed him sign kids' flags in the middle of the round, give 2 different kids golf balls in the middle of the round, and all of this when no one was watching. Toasty gave me this opportunity, and I am grateful for that. He was great to me, very respectful, and appreciative for me being out there with him. He gained a fan this week. Thanks, guys.
We are pro Toasty. I love that. Love
this
that.
Is like
one-of-a-kind character.
This is Toasty's like maybe 20th caddy of the year. Where's he at? You know, I feel like we've dropped the ball on.
Not been doing great.
Where's he at on the FedEx Cup? Yeah, let's see where he's at.
He needs.
We gotta have him keep his card. We can't have him go back down to the. We lose sight of him when he goes back. He's 129. God, this is important.
I'm worried about him this week, just launching balls hither and yon into the lava rocks at the Black Desert Championship. Did you hear Ken Tackett today? Joseph Lamagna tells us. No, it's a new course, so we want to be careful. We can go from easy to hard. We don't want to start too hard. Then I turn into PGA Tour Live. Lisa Cornwell, General Cornwallis, talking about how soft the fairways are. And they're already like 60, 50 yards wide, and they're incredibly soft. It's like we do have that lava rock that's menacing, but they're extra wide given how soft they are on top of the actual width and distance. So kind of giving them a gentle handshake.
Well,
you know, lava rock
we wouldn't want the best players in the world ever to be tested. Never want to see what the best players in the world can do on a golf course. Why would we do that when we could just see dartboards, out there?
Could be an interesting event if you watch it, if you read up on it. Matt Ruches and Garrett did a cool breakdown. I actually went to the course this year. Some blindness.
I read it was on Mars.
Yeah. There is. I mean, it looks like it if you wanted to. But yeah, we got to Utah and saw this course. It's interesting. I think, and there's like a later television window. If you don't want to watch, what's Thursday Night Football again tonight? We've got MLB playoffs, got all sorts of stuff. Jayon Blake's at 4:14. I mean, he's in the window. He's in the window. He's playing tonight.
I gotta say,
although I guess we're releasing this after that shit.
The Bears are in London this week. I am all for it. The game's going to start at 6:30 in the morning for me. It's coffee football.
Love that.
It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be up at 6 on a Sunday, just like raring to go.
Love that.
It was not fun last week.
Jets
just the first three. They went 3 and out by like 9:33, and I was like, "Oh, my day's ruined."
You're a Generation Z. You're not in the parent life where mornings can be just a hellscape while you're trying to get your kid to move just place to place, and this is gonna be just general excitement. It gives me a great reason to have Sunday morning, and football on.
Love that. You know what else can get you excited? Is a True Golf launch box monitor. Is we're going towards indoor time, right? Some coffee golf, coffee football in your case. This is a chance, temperatures are going down. Golf season shrinking, going away. True Golf, latest sponsor of the Shotgun Start.
That's right.
You go to True Golf, that's no E. As you know, we hate vowels as much as the next person, so we try to mitigate them as often as possible. It's TRU, just one vowel. TrueGolf.com/egg. TrueGolf.com/egg. Go peruse the launch box. It's optimized for indoor use. Can be used on range mats outdoors. It's a launch monitor. It lets you explore some of the best courses in the world that have been meticulously created with their E6 Connect technology. They are not, in all bold, legally allowed to use course names. So we'll make sure. I'm like Ron Burgundy, just reading right up the script. But yes, they've set it up to explore some of the best courses in the world.
I'm gonna get one of these. I got a little spot. I got a little spot in my backyard that's perfect. It's like paved. It's flat.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect space for a rocket net. And I'm gonna get one of these set up. I had this plan 6 months ago, and then my wife went on and found like one of those playhouses for my daughter.
Sure.
She saw the spot, had different ideas. I just moved the plaything back out.
Okay.
Moved it to the front yard.
Okay.
Now I got the spot back open. I'm gonna get this thing dialed in. I'm gonna be playing golf all winter.
Love that. Simple setup, instant shot registration, accurate measured data, easy Wi-Fi connection. Go to truegolf.com/egg. A good thing to maybe add to your repertoire here, especially as the winter season approaches for much of the country. All right, let's move on here. The Showdown. We're getting more details. We had a name, we had players, we had a tentative month and location, but not specific. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler will go against Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau on December 17th at Shadow Creek in Las Vegas. It's called the Showdown. Format still TBD. We don't know if it's going to be whatever. Scramble, alt shot, best ball. Who knows? On TNT, 18
Lots
holes.
of commercials.
No prize money. This is. I mean, these four-man matches, which could be
6
all
hours.
shot, 2 balls in play, maybe sometimes. Yeah, it's a 5-hour deal, and watching the MLB playoffs, it's having grown up an entire way, like for 30 years, my life, and the Guards/Indians were in a lot of those postseasons. It's jarring to, like, it feels like you have like a 4 or 5 hour part of your day just carved out. Like, you can come and go to it, but it just flies. It's over with. But, the matches need to be 5 or 6 hours. No prize money. Apparently, this is Front Office Sports saying there was a 6-year deal made for these matches with MGM being the host in the U.S., which is Shadow Creek, MGM. But it will alternate between U.S. and international locations, next one being the Middle East. It's not affiliated with either tours. So no prize money. Rumors of I think I saw tweets out there that it was $4 million a guy.
I think those tweets got deleted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like we heard that too. Who knows? No prize money, but players, I think the players are just doing it to unite golf. I don't think they're doing it for anything but just to unite golf and get in it together and bring everybody together back. And that's what they're doing it for. No enrichment of any kind. But that's the Showdown details. December 17th. I think it could be good. I don't have strong critique for it. I think, why not? It's December 17th. Throw it out there. I wish it were at a different location, but it's fine. Shadow Creek.
It's not a lot of places December 17th to host.
Yep.
And so reliable weather, and of course I say reliable weather, and probably some like freak rainstorm. None of these matches will ever top the medalist one with TB running sprints. I think this is like maybe the issue I have with this is that literally nothing will ever top that day. In the middle of the pandemic, there's no sports on, and you get Peyton Manning outplaying Phil for 9 holes. That's like one thing. You get TB, like, people. I mean, do you remember how bad he was? He was so bad, and then he holes out. It's just pouring rain. It was awful out. It's like I just think that we've reached the ceiling here, and everybody involved with these needs to acknowledge that we can't keep trotting out the same format because we'll never touch that one. What are you looking up? What are you thumbing through? That looks like a 1990s
1999 PGA Tour media guide.
Is Jayon in it?
Yes, that's what I was looking at real quick. I was listening to you the whole time. I promise you about the format. I was listening to you the whole time. You want Jayon Blake's entry in the 19...
Is it listed as Jayon Blake or Jayon
Blake? He's in the Blake. He's in the B's, right behind Phil Blackmar and ahead of Michael Bradley. Jayon Blake, wife Marcy, Jamie Dawn is his first daughter. JD, he went JD. Followed the. Let's go to personal. A drag racing aficionado attended the national. So this was written as of 1999. Drag racing aficionado. They spelled aficionado wrong. I don't think the proofreading was too good on this. Attended the National Hot Rod Association driving school in December 1995. He's a regular competitor who won the Hot Rod Sprint in the fall of 96. Professional drag racer Bob Vandergriff Jr. has caddied for him. And he knew by the age of 12 out there in St. George, Utah, he wanted to be a professional golfer. Named Collegiate Player of the Year in 1991. Again, this thing was not proofread, this tour guide. It was 81. It couldn't have been 91. Just clerical errors throughout this thing. Aficionado spelled wrong. Go ahead.
Do you know who the Rookie of the Year in 1999 was? Pod favorite. It's a
Sergio?
pod favorite.
No, he would have been.
International player. Pod favorite. Podcast favorite. International player.
Sabo?
Carlos Franco.
Oh, he was a rookie in 99?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe late arriving scene. I feel like he's older than that to be. All right. Like that. Carlos Franco.
Ready for the top 10 in the money list?
Marco Mira, cover boy of the media guide, the guy you hate. King of the bees, but not too minor to be the cover boy for the 1999 PGA Tour media guide.
Jordan Spieth's career reversed. You ready for the top 10 of the money list in 99?
Yeah.
Number 1, Tiger Woods. Number 2, David Duval. Number 3, DL3. 4, VJ. Then 5 is Chris Perry.
From the band Perry. Okay.
Then Hal Sutton, Payne Stewart, Justin Leonard, Jeff Maggart, a legend of the Charles Schwab Championship the PJ is going to go see, and David Toms.
All right. Good money list. It's a good crew. I'd take them up against anyone these days, maybe. All right. Sorry, I got distracted, but you're right about the format with the showdown at Shadow Creek.
God, Duffy Waldorf won in 99. Noda won in 99.
Oh, we got
Brent Geiberger, Tom Pernice Jr.
Jesus. We got a lot of intel.
JL Lewis. JL Lewis won.
Who's
won
that?
The John Deere class. I don't know. Let me see.
We got a lot of intel about that MB3 Invitational, the college event in New Mexico. It's at a Nota Begay designed course.
I saw that.
We've been told is not very good. He's on the NB3 Invitational. His name's on the event. Golf Channel's broadcasting it. His Twin Warriors course probably benefiting from it. But yeah, course looks hard. Apparently there's like a 670-yard par 5 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, a lot of feedback on Twin Warriors.
Ted Tryba won the FedEx St. Jude that year. J.L. Lewis, John Lee Lewis.
Okay.
He won twice. He won the 84 lumber too.
Really?
Yeah.
Congressman. All right.
God, J.L. Lewis.
Love that. Let's get to golf advice.
All-state basketball player.
Yeah.
A golf scholarship to Emporia State University.
Emporia, yeah.
And then he transferred to Southwest Texas State, which is now Texas State University San Marcos. You know, I had a caddy last week when I was down in Texas, who is from Denmark. He just got through Q school, Casper. Got through first stage of Q school, and we had a long chat about Danish golf. I think he was super impressed. He just the first thing I said, I was like, "Hey, you must be around the same age as that young Olesen,
Jacob Skov Olesen."
And he was like, "He's one of my best friends."
Wow.
We just immediately bonded. He might be listening now. He's like, "How do you know all this?" And I was like, "Well, I talk about pro golf."
For too many hours a day that we discover Jacob Scott. We talk about him multiple times.
But he's
known as the Piss Bear Jr. Probably didn't get into that.
Well,
your best friend we've labeled the Piss Bear Jr. Your best friend. All right. I didn't think so.
But I did ask him about the culture shock of going from Denmark to San Marcos, Texas.
Sure.
He's like, yeah, life changed quite a bit for me when I came down here. He's like, the big thing, though, is it's a lot warmer here. It's good for golf.
That's true. There's a great story to be written about all the guys plucked out of some little village in Ireland. They end up at East Tennessee State or San Marcos from Denmark. Like that's some
Ludwig
good,
from Sweden going to Lubbock, Texas.
They're going to Buc-ee's or all these what is this culture change? Great story. Speaking of, Piss Bear is leading the FedEx French Open.
God.
Piss Bear's leading. Mean Joe Dean and Jesper Svensson, not Adams Svensson, are all tied for the lead at Le Golf National.
JL Lewis has the most filled out Wikipedia page for a golfer. Well, here I have a theory here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going like year to year. So he became the Forest Creek He moved to Austin, and he became PGA pro after, his career on the PGA Tour, 2-time winner.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the bottom. Lewis had an interest in writing.
Oh, should we have is he alive?
I think so.
Can you do the newsletter? Go ahead.
Specifically about golf instruction, for which he's penned more than 1,000 golf tips.
Holy cow.
He published a book, The Pocket Pro edition, Golf Tips from the Tour, in 2009. This is the greatest part about his
writing. He's a writer, and his Wikipedia page is ridiculously filled out. I think I'm starting to come into focus.
There's a section about his 2007 and 2008 PGA Tour seasons. After his comeback so he had to come back from an injury. What would you? So JL Lewis, what kind of injury do you think he's writing about? They're writing about his comeback from injury. Can you
elbow or a meniscus or something? What do you mean? I don't know.
PJ, do you have any guesses for a golf injury that need a comeback? Like he's writing about a comeback from an injury. What's the injury?
A frozen shoulder.
The injury is a strained MCL. That's like a 4-week injury in the NFL.
Got a comeback injury on Wikipedia.
Strained MCL in his left knee, suffered in his comeback is 2007-2008 comeback season.
What?
The injury occurred in May of 2006. Because he also had a lingering elbow injury, he was granted a major medical extension carryover.
Sure.
Because of a strained MCL.
Yeah, of course.
I did just want to look. I was curious. It's not a whole entry yet. I don't know. Maybe we get through 2025, and if he wins a major, it becomes a whole entry. But there is a line on Ludwig's Wikipedia page about his knee surgery. So I was seeing where the line was for Wikipedia knee injuries in golf.
I mean,
JL Lewis.
Ludwig's the top 10 player in the world and current.
God.
Let's get to golf advice.
Follow up. JL Lewis sneaky played in like a dozen majors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like he played over a dozen majors.
Like that. Maybe he should have a larger Wikipedia page.
I think we should
majors.
We should see if JL Lewis wants to be a guest contributor on.
Writer.
Yeah.
He's a writer. He seems thorough based on his Wikipedia page. All right, follow up from last week. SGS Golf.
I wonder if do you think Casper will be a better tour pro out of Texas State than JL Lewis?
I mean, no. I hope so. For Casper, because he's got his whole life ahead of him. But 12 majors ain't nothing to sneeze at. What, he won twice, you say? Won the 84 Lumber and
JL Lewis, highest ranking is in the Jadon zone.
66. All right.
Maybe he should have gotten an exemption.
Yeah, give it to Memorial Park.
Houston, my God. JL died.
Not writing for the newsletter. All right. That's just golfadvice@gmail.com. R.I.P.
How did you just get there?
R.I.P. to JL. Follow up. That's just golfadvice@gmail.com.
I think we might have to end the episode.
No, maybe, yeah. William follows up. I thoroughly appreciate your advice on last Friday's episode with Tron. I wanted to provide an update. This is on the kid who had diarrhea and he's going to break 80 at Manakiki. Last Friday, a week after the dilemma above, finally broke 80. He went back and broke 80. My daughter is feeling a lot Better now. No more stool issues. Just like you said on the pod, good things would come for me. I will take this as a good thing. Love that. Love that. That's what we like to hear. We get toasty tales and we get follow-up. Sleepy podcast quandary. All right. So kind of golf advice. Go ahead. This goes back to falling asleep to podcasts, which you think is nuts. Well, lads, 29, no kids yet, will fight any amateur who insists on aim pointing. Not so much a question, but a little bit of a tale. Currently a patient in a hospital in little old Ireland. Last night, I had one of the most fantastically SGS-apt experiences. Usual situation being in a hospital ward, not great sleep, death and sickness everywhere. So at about 3 a.m. this morning, I was awoken to the sound of an elderly gentleman who had his fill of inpatient life and decided he wanted to leave and see the outside world. So as the nurses and staff are frantically trying to settle this renegade geriatric, who was leading a rousing cause for liberty, all that crossed my mind was, Christ, how do I get myself back to sleep? And in my little hospital bed, among the chaos, all I could do was giggle to myself, thinking about the, quote, falling asleep to podcast debacle on your show. I, a longtime proponent of not sleeping with AirPods, and I still think it's barbaric behavior, briefly considered this move. But as I went back and forth in my head, thinking of your dumb podcast in this debate, essentially reliving the pod and both of your guys' arguments for and against, the speed, types of pods, and all that important, the magic question of how the hell does it know you're asleep? I found myself falling fast asleep. So I fell asleep thinking about your podcast, which focused upon falling asleep to listening to podcasts. And I realized that morning when I woke up, I was so glad I wasn't heavily medicated last night, because God knows where my lucid thoughts would have brought me. Hope this brought you as much confusion as it did me. A good anecdote from little old Ireland.
I got to say, I was on an early flight recently, and I fell asleep with podcasts on.
There you go.
And I didn't like it. I woke up, and I was like, I have to go back. I can't. I don't remember where I left off. It felt like a waste.
That's it. It is part of the issue that you have to navigate. All right, next one from Justin. Morning, 40, 2 kids. Could use a good throwdown most days lately. If I'm being honest, hopefully I make it on the podcast. He says, insert the soundbite. I recently joined a Jack Nicklaus designed club in Ohio due to the proximity to my house and the great family pool. Podcast. No, I just saw you futzing around over there. I knew it was coming. Due to the proximity of my house and a great family pool and fitness, believe me, it's not where I want to play golf every day, but it's in our price range, it's close, and things are limited. On the very first hole, on an otherwise decent opening par 5, which is a risk reward over a pond, there are 2, all caps, enormous trees in the absolute middle of the fairway. See pick right off the tee.
You hit over the pond and into a fairway with 2 massive trees.
Yeah, I'm going to Slack it to you, or I'm going to text it to you right now. Let me text it to you. I texted it to you and somebody else who's just going to be a bystander and not know why they got that. You're at the top of the chain as I record.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So 2 beautiful trees, enormous trees. I decided to take the cause in my hands and write a letter to Jack Nicklaus myself.
It looks like Chicago. Is that Windstone?
It's Columbus area, okay. I believe, Ohio. So he writes a letter to Jack Nicklaus himself about Golden Age architecture, quoted Donald Ross on how trees should never be in the line of play, and even quoted Ronald Reagan about tearing down those trees, like this wall, similar to tearing down that wall. We all know Nicklaus loves Ronald Reagan, probably. I asked Jack to call the club and opine that the trees need to come down. Time went past, and I finally received a letter back. It read, I have fond memories of designing that club, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. When I visit Ohio again, I should come by and visit those, quote, 2 beautiful trees. He wants to come just visit the trees themselves.
Probably with a nice little visit fee.
So this is the author again. So he's absolutely putting his thumb on the scale. I could picture him laughing right from his easy chair with a milkshake in hand and calling Barbara to come mail this letter back. Now, listen, I'm not one to complain often. I know this isn't a top 100 course or even a top course in the area, but what is my next move? The trees have to come down. Do I petition the club being a new member? Doesn't sound like that's the route. Do I hire some teens to cut them down in the middle of the night? Full disclosure, I do not condone this. Sake for legal records, please put this into the transcript. What's the play here? The trees are embarrassing. Everyone I host cringes when they step to that opening hole. So this is your opener. This is what greets you. Andy, what's the move?
I think you got to just embrace the trees.
Just accept status quo?
I just don't think you're in the position right now to do anything. This has to be like a 20-year plan.
What's your visceral reaction? I sent you the picture. They're not good,
it's
right?
almost so bad it's good. Like, it's like, honestly, like DLF level design.
It's kind of insane.
There's a pond up the left for people that
text you, PJ.
There's a pond up the left. There's like deep woods on the right. And then there's just these massive trees right in the middle of the fairway. I mean, there's nowhere to hit the ball. I think it's just, I think this is just humorous. This is honest. Like, I think there's some level of architecture that could be humor. This is like, we're going to just jam you right out of the gates. I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it. It's a terrible hole with the trees. It's a terrible hole without the trees. So
make it extra terrible so it stands out a little bit more with the trees. Yeah.
Honestly,
fair.
It's so egregious. It's just like unbelievable. I think you have to actually like lean into it, take pride in it. Like, our first hole is a hole that you won't see anywhere else.
I think I would try to split. There's probably 1 yard between the 3 feet between the two trunks. I'd try to just go right there. Right through.
I'd love to hit like a low stinger right at it, like every time. Just try and just hit like a rocket right at it and just play the game of like chance. Which way does it go? Which way plank goes? The thing that's crazy, it looks so narrow. It's so narrow. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I'll just hit it right over the trees,
Yeah.
But then it's like it looks like the landing area is like 25 yards between the water and the bunker, and it's only about like 45 yards between the water and the woods. So there's not really a good answer as to what to do. I think you kind of just what if you just play right under it, hit an iron shot that is going to land, right at it because it's the way it's coming in, it's going to land at it, and then you've got to play over, or then you've got to play. You can hit it, and it's not going to hit the tree on the way up to the next shot. I think that's the way you play it.
Yeah,
it's just some beautiful mounding too around the green. I love the tree. I love the trees on top of the mounds.
Yes, there you go. I love that. We're going to post a picture of this, the visual accompaniment. He also sent us pictures of Jack's note back, just as corroboration that Jack did respond. Said to about his quote, 2 beautiful trees. He loves them. He embraces.
Do you think it was
design.
Digital Jack who wrote back, or Jack?
I think it looks like Jack's kind of penmanship. Looks like his penmanship. So the advice is do nothing. I don't think you hire somebody to chop them down, disease them, complain as a new member. You can't. I think you just accept your fate.
I think you have to learn to love them.
Tell your wife to enjoy the pool, as you said. And yeah.
Have you? Did you read the Puck article, the Jack versus Jack?
Not yet. I've had many people send it to me. Seems
on my list of to-dos.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it on Monday.
All right. Last one. One more golf advice. Advice on noisy
I had
playing.
An urgent one.
Okay. Do you know where? Do you have it handy?
Yeah, I got it right here. It's quick too.
Okay. Good.
34, father of 2, no interest in fighting. I have a trip booked abandoned for April 2025. Originally planned for 2024. My dad's 60th, my uncle and cousin, but it got postponed. And I just learned I won the lottery for 2 to play the old course. We have a tee time on June 16th or June 15th on Jubilee and June 16th on the old course. I have until October 31st to reserve the St. Andrews tee time. We have never played either. There's no chance my wife will be okay with me doing both trips. What should I do?
All right, so it's abandoned with his uncle and dad, it sounded like, or him and one other person to Scotland.
I assume it's going to be his dad.
I think you won the lottery and go play the old course. I think
Bandon's always there. You have to do the old course.
I mean, Bandon, you clearly have to be pre-planned, right? You have to be planned in advance and all that stuff, but it still conceivably is there. It's much, yeah. I think you have the opportunity to play the old course, and you probably go and do it. Got 2 weeks, 3 weeks to respond.
Follow-up questions. What 2 to 3 other courses should we add in? North Berwick's already on my short list. Yeah.
Ely, you would say?
I'd say Ely.
I was in bed for that one.
Yeah, you were.
It's hurting.
Praying to the porcelain gods.
Ely was one. What else you got? You want to throw out there?
I mean, the new course I haven't played it. It looks really cool. I would also Crail's really cool. You're close. Like, it just depends if you want to, like, what else you want to do.
Yeah. It seems
having
like
done
East Lothian, if he's doing.
Yeah, the North Berwick drive, that's a haul. It's it's 2.5 hours. That being said, if it was America, you'd drive the 2.5 hours, no problem. Like, you just are passing by. Like, it just depends. Do you want to just hang out? Like, there's something nice about just hanging out in Fife. There's plenty of golf courses to play there. My personal favorite is Ely. It's one of my favorite courses in the world. I would go there. If you really want to do North Berwick, swing up and do it. But then if you get up to North Berwick, then it's like, well, like, you should try and play Muirfield. Gullen's got 3 really cool courses. And, it's almost like that. Like, if I were you, I hope this doesn't, chap anybody's ass at Bandon, but like, I would take the Bandon trip, cancel it, and say we're going to North Berwick and East Lothian, and we're gonna hang out in North Berwick, and we're gonna play North Berwick, Gullen, Muirfield, Dunbar, and maybe do that, and then do this trip if you're Kilspindie. There's Luffness, like, and then this trip I would say, okay, we won the lottery here. I'm going with my dad. I'm gonna just hang out. Like, I don't want to spend time in a car. Like, I would even say spending an afternoon in Edinburgh would be an amazing thing to do. It's I'm like a very, very big believer in like just hanging out in the town and playing golf courses in the area around, and realizing like, these Scotland trips are like effectively like the same cost as going to Bandon. And like, if you're coming from the East Coast, it's the same amount of time.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Keep it local. Aim small. Maybe get the car service that we had from East Lothian to Fife, where the woman didn't know what left and right meant until we pulled into St. Andrews. She drove us the whole way.
Remember how hot it was that day?
Yeah, I said it's a left here. It's like, no, you got a point.
I was so tired.
Okay.
I fell asleep in the car. Wasn't listening to pods.
All right.
Rest in peace, JL Lewis.
Everybody enjoy your weekends. We will talk to you on Monday.